Today we're going to make Star Wars book covers. They're really easy and great for beginner sewers. If you're learning to sew, all you're doing is sewing straight lines with these. So they look really professional for the least amount of work that you're putting into them. So I decided to go with the Star Wars print because these are actually going to be a gift for some of my husband's work friends. So they were big Star Wars fans. But you can really make these out of any type of fabric you want. Just keep in mind the Velcro is totally optional. You don't have to add that if you don't want to. The inside has a little pocket for his pen and another little pocket just because in case there's anything else he wants to stick in there. So whether you have a notebook for school or at work, these are a great way to personalize your notebooks. You can really make them how you want. You can easily customize any of the colors to go with your preference. So it's up to you. So if you want to learn how to make these, just keep watching. Alright, you're going to need 1/3 yard of cotton Star Wars fabric, 1/3 yard tan duck cloth fabric, 1 package of black 0.5 extra wide double fold bias tape, 1 8x5.25 notebook, matching thread, and optional is 1 package of 3/4 inch sew-on Velcro. So you're going to take your Star Wars fabric and we're going to cut out our cover. You're going to cut out an 11.5 by an 8.75 inch rectangle. You're going to cut out 2 small 6 by 5 inch rectangles for your pocket on the inside panel. Then you're going to take your duck cloth or a very thick fabric if you don't want to use duck cloth, and you're going to cut out the same 11.5 by 8.75 inch rectangle. You're also going to cut out 2 8.75 by 4.5 inch rectangles. These are going to be your inside panels. So here are the pieces that you should have. Take your 2 small fabric rectangles and you're going to place them ugly side to ugly side. You're going to take your bias tape and we're going to open it up. You're going to place the top of the rectangle edge up against the middle fold of the bias tape, and you're going to fold the bias tape down over it. You're going to sew as close to the edge of the bias tape as you can, making sure that you get both sides of the bias tape, since bias tape can get warped and stretched. So you just want to make sure that when you do sew it, you're getting the top and the bottom in the stitch. Go ahead and cut off the excess bias tape from your small rectangle, and we're going to grab our 2 side panels. Line up your small rectangle against one of the panels. You want to make sure that the bottom and the right side are directly lined up. You're going to place bias tape onto the edge that's lined up, and we're going to sew this down as well. You're also going to add bias tape to the 2 long edges on the other panel. So you should have something like this. From the edge with the bias tape, you're going to mark 3.25 inches toward the middle. You're going to make a straight stitch from the top of the bias tape to the bottom of the panel, where you've marked your 3.25 inches. So it should look something like this. You're going to take the edge of your pocket and line it up with the edge of the panel. You're going to add bias tape to this edge as well. It's going to be lifted a little bit because this is where you're going to be able to put your pen. Go ahead and take your large Star Wars fabric rectangle and you're going to layer that with the large rectangle of the duck cloth. You're going to line these up, making sure that the nice side of your fabric is up. You're going to take your pocket panel and you're going to line it up with the right side edge of your large rectangle. Go ahead and sew this down, sewing as close to the edge as possible, but you still want to make sure you get both layers of your large rectangle. This next part is optional. I'm adding Velcro since the person this is for is in the military, and this way he can put his name tape on there. You can add whatever you want to your book cover at this point. You can add a patch, you can embroider a name. It's really up to you on how you want to personalize this. So I'm just going to mark where I want my Velcro to go, and I'm only going to grab the fabric layer. I'm going to go ahead and stitch all 4 corners of my Velcro
as close to the edge as I can. Then you can go ahead and layer your fabric with the duck cloth once again. Grab your second panel, making sure you have the nice side that you want against your fabric. So the ugly side should be facing up. And once again, you're going to sew this onto the edge, making sure all 3 of your layers are in the stitch. So you will have something like this. Go ahead and flip that over. You're going to fold in your side panels. You want to make sure that your bias tape is completely folded over, so this will leave a little bit of the fabric from the outside showing. So I'm just pressing it as best as I can to make sure it kind of flattens out, and I'm using the least amount of the fabric from the cover as I can. You're going to place your finger where you made the seam for your pen pocket, and you're just going to hold that bit of fabric down and bring the other over the top, so it kind of makes a little fold there. That way your pocket is nice and neat when you go to put your bias tape. And then you can go ahead and sew on your bias tape to the bottom edge and the top edge. You want to make sure that you leave about an inch hangover on these 2 pieces of bias tape. Do not cut them the length of your book cover. You're going to go ahead and fold these over, and you're just going to sew them down. So you should have something that looks like this. And your book cover is complete. And now you have a great personal touch to your notebook.
So if you really like this tutorial, just subscribe down below and I'll have tons of other tutorials coming soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.